Okay, so we're going to go down here to Sharpener Pro and choose Output Sharpener. And this comes up, we already have it up 100%. So let's slide Erica up here a little bit so you can see a little bit of each thing here. And we'll see the default settings are just too much. So what I'll do is I'll probably start with my output strength, and let's try bringing that down to maybe about 35% or something like that. And as you can see, that took some of the harshness off the face. We don't need any structure this time, which if I chose my display light, that's what it would do, is turn that off as well. These are just presets I've created for myself. And then adaptive sharpening. Let's see, let's do fewer edges. That. And so now we have some nice subtle sharpening without being too crazy. And I'm fine with that. So if I hit OK, it's all done now. So I like to always just do selective sharpening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and create a new layer. And I could do this in Sharpener Pro, but for this type of thing, honestly, I just like to do it by hand. It just works better for me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along here with my brush tool and then just paint in where I want sharpening. I generally don't like the sharpening on the hair, and we don't really need it or want it on the skin. So I'll throw some on the dress here, and then on the face we'll come in a little closer here, and what we'll do is we'll brush it in along the edges of the eyes here, kind of brighten up those eyelashes, and then do the eyebrows, do the teeth and lips, and sometimes these little shadow areas can benefit from it, so I'll add a little bit in there. It's kind of a hot spot there. I might want to fix that. And for the hair, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little trick where I want some but not much. So let's just come in here and let's just choose a shade of gray. And I'm just randomly choosing one that looks like it's going to give me a little bit. And so I'm going to just come in here. I'm just going to lightly paint in some gray to all this. And we'll see what that looks like. Before, after, and that's a little bit. Probably handle a little bit more, but I'd rather a little on the left side than too much side for that, honestly. So we'll add that. Now we'll come back here, set this guy back to white, and let's color in, oops, on the dress. Make sure we get some sharpening there. We could fix this little lump here with Liquify if we wanted to. Sometimes we miss some things, so we do things out of order. It happens to everybody. Oops. So Alt click and kind of see what are we getting here. We want to make sure that the most important parts, which is the fabric, has the sharpening. And I'm just going to get a little sloppy here at first and kind of go over. And then I'm going to come back. Just kind of quickly pull that off. And I'm okay with the edges since the edges sharpen nicely anyway. And, oops. Switch. paint that in. Don't want too much on the hair. No skin, so I'm going to just go ahead and wipe that off. Bring that back in. Bring that out. I'm okay with this kind of going back and forth. It happens sometimes. I'm not too worried about the white area either. Unless you have noise in it, it's not really going to show up, so it's okay. Oops. And that's looking about right. So we got a little bit for the hair. I missed that spot, but that's fine. I come along here with a little harder brush. Oops. Oops, do it again. I'm using a Wacom, so it's pressure sensitive, which sometimes is nice, sometimes really is annoying. So I'm going to X out that again. Just kind of quickly wipe it the best I can. Okay. I'll come down there to those shoes, which actually we'll have to show everything to see where they are. And let's go down to the shoes. We definitely want those guys sharpened up. So we'll go back, and you'll see when we do this that they sharpen up really nicely. And once again, we're going to just do some quick strokes along here, and you can take a look at what we got. Seems pretty good to me. Make sure we got all of that. Okay, and then we'll get rid of what we don't want. Okay, and I really don't care about the white part, but just for kicks, I'm going to get rid of a little bit of it since I was pretty sloppy here. Okay, oops. There's one little edge here we forgot about. Okay, so let's turn everything back on, back out. Before, after, before, after. We're so far away it's kind of hard to even see what we did, but because it's real subtle around the face. Let's go ahead and come back in here and do that again. Before, after, before, after. And I could do things like brighten up her iris and kind of brighten up her teeth, but I'm actually not going to do that on this shot because it's so small, there's really no value in doing it. And that concludes our demo. Thank you for joining me.